Hi folks, long time no speak. Yes, it's been a while since I've made a video. I've had so many questions on Elenin, obviously. Well, let's review briefly a few of the past facts. That is, if facts exist where comet Elenin is concerned, it is highly doubtful. Just the fog of disinformation, constant disinformation. And over the past months, there are some of us who have tried to battle beyond this. But do any of us normal folk really know any of the answers? We try to see through the haze, armed with hours of study and a basic knowledge. We try to piece together the fragments of truth. Around 4 months ago, from one of the larger earthbound telescopes, I ordered and booked 20 frames to be taken of Elenin, and to the present date, all I've had is excuses. One of the stranger facts I discovered and released a video on was the Swiss 10-franc note. I'm sure many of you have seen this, at least if not on my video. After my release, it went viral. As you're probably aware, NASA turned stereo around for roughly a 10-day period to take pictures of Elenin. By some weird coincidence, on the third day, the third batch of 6 images went smack center through Orion's belt and stopped exactly where the location of the so-called secret cross. Also, the angle of approach from the beginning to the end of NASA's pictures always seemed to me to be pitched at the total wrong angle to what you can see on JPL's diagram, to finally vanish out of sight, with claims that it had broke up. Well, even with NASA's size of 3 or 4 miles across, that is some pretty huge pieces left floating around out there, which without any doubt would continue on a very similar trajectory. And for us not to be able to see this cluster, they would have to be at least a magnitude 22 or greater, or most earthbound telescopes would clearly, visibly be able to see Elenin. Well, I'm not going to sit on the fence. You obviously are wanting an opinion of what's going to happen on the 26th and 27th of September. Are there going to be any earthquakes? Well, as I believe planetary bodies, solar flares, etc., are what cause earthquakes on our planet, or at least play the major role, are there going to be any earth-shattering or devastation to the degree some people are talking about? In my opinion, no. There's more chance in early November from the debris and the debris trail, especially if it's broken up, of meteorite showers, incoming debris, etc. But you have to wonder, NASA released the fact that a satellite towards the end of September, or some have said around the 26th and 27th of September, will come crashing down to the Earth. Then it seemed to change to early October. Well, my concern is, if JPL, if NASA can't even locate the time and location of a satellite, which in comparison to a comet, which is tens of millions of miles away, and this satellite is in touching distance, and they can't calculate where and when it's going to land, unbelievable. So you have to say, is Elenin just been a smokescreen? Possibly even a false flag. Lately, NASA have been putting out so much information about solar flares. Many mainstream news stories on the possibility of huge CMEs, which we've had in the past, Elenin event, roughly 150 years ago. So of course, this could happen at any time. And if a super huge one came in our direction, who knows what damage that could cause? Undoubtedly finishing power grids, wiping out satellites, to say the least. But when our governments, NASA, etc., are pressing this point heavily, you have to wonder what their motivations actually are. Bearing in mind that most modern governments of the world can easily mimic the effects of a huge solar flare. As you are probably aware, it's called EMP. So perhaps what we truly should be worrying about is where our governments, what direction they are going to take us. With collapsing currencies, global markets, the balance of power is completely unhinged. Believe me, the largest threat to mankind are our puppet governments and the direction they will take us in. Please stay safe and thank you for watching the video.